Hey, this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. Don't forget to check out my website, paradoxastrology.com. Book your consultation today. I can help you with anything. And if you would like more exclusive occult videos that I don't post on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my Patreon. It also helps support this channel. Okay, let's get into this video. Now we have a new moon that's coming up on July 17th, and that's going to be in Cancer in the Nakshatra Punarvasu. So we're going to talk about what that means for you and the world. I was looking at the charts of other countries, of Canada and the US, just to get an idea of how this will affect them. Eventually, I'm going to add other charts of other countries as well. I know a lot of you watch me from India. I'll start doing that too. So this is just the beginning. Now, this is going to be in the 8th house of the US chart of shared resources. This could be debt of the country and also what is owed. It will be conjunct Mercury, which is the lord of the 10th and the 7th house. And also transiting Mercury will be conjunct natal Rahu of the US chart. So that means there could be some unexpected things that happen that have to do with the reputation of the country, the president, the markets, trade, and relations with other countries, also corporations and business dealings. This will be happening in Canada's 4th house. The 4th house indicates the property of the country, it's the homes, and it's the homeland. Now, recently in Canada, the interest rates have been going up significantly higher than they've ever been. And this is an indication of that. Ketu will be in the 4th house, showing us that there could be a loss of properties. There could be detachment of certain people and certain properties. And that could also be business owners, people who owned certain properties but can no longer afford them. And that's what's happening in Canada. And this could be happening all over the world. It can also indicate with Ketu in the 4th house, the weather. This could be loss of people due to the weather. I know we've been having a lot of really bad storms lately around the world. And this is also an indication of that, unfortunately. Now, Punarvasu translates to wealthy again, good again. It's also a quiver full of arrows. The arrows represent hitting a target. So if you had something that you were really going for, this could be a time that you could hit that target, that you could meet that challenge. Jupiter will be giving the opportunity for gains in career, as it's going to be sitting in the 10th house with Rahu. This could be unexpectedly you gain through your reputation. These gains can come through service for others and also gains of employment. It's the power to retrieve objects or objectives. So like hitting the target, you could definitely hit that objective that you've been searching for. It's about triumph and renewal. Finally, something new comes that shows that you overcame a challenge. The impression of some positive transformation that occurs from darkness to light. It includes a lot of polar opposites though as well. And I'll get into that in a second. It's also about the resources and the energy that you have at hand. This could also have to do with accomplishing something, acquiring resources that maybe you were lacking before. It's about safely returning home from a mission. That's why it has a lot to do with home as well, because a home is where we go to feel safe after a long day. But sometimes it can show a lack of strength due to idealistic compassion. This has to do with the story in the Vedas about the war, which I won't go into because this video will be super long. But it can be due to a lack of inactivity, laziness sometimes. Others will hit the target no matter what, no matter how many challenges there are. Some of you will just have the perseverance to keep going. Others, it will take 2 tries. Now, with this, the sense of duality comes in where they'll fail the first time, but the second time they'll get it. So if this is something that comes up where it ends up being a failure for you, keep going. Don't give up. It will work. Just remember to let go of what's not serving you. Don't hang on to it. Let it go. It's not worth hanging on to at this time. That could be with several different things in your life. These stars are regarded as 2 twin brothers, one of whom is Castor, and he can be naughty and cruel. The other twin brother is Pollux, who is generous and also wise. If you were the type that didn't hit the target the first time, it's because you encountered the one twin brother, the naughty one. So you keep going, and then eventually you'll encounter the other one. where it has generosity and wisdom. So the second time, once you hit that one, you'll be good to go. This can also bring back what is lost. And with having Venus going retrograde on the 22nd, and I'll have a video about that, about Venus plus all the different transits that are happening at that time and what I see happening. After this video, there'll be one that I'll put out. But when Venus goes retrograde, it brings a lot of past people back into our lives, and this could mean past relationships. So for some of you, this could mean bringing back of an ex, maybe somebody you lost. And when people say exes, they're like, oh no, but this isn't always negative. Maybe the relationship didn't work because of ego conflicts, and you realize now the value that they bring, and it's time to restart. That's just one example of bringing back something that was lost. The Lord of the second house will be in the first, which is the sun. Money can come to some. This could indicate money from either the father, an authority figure, the government, or leaders, which is kind of the same thing as government, or knowledge. It can also be a sense of self, a renewal of sense of self, which will be coming from the family. So many different options there. The first house rules the country as a whole. It can also show the country, the city, the corporations, and it is the wealth of the nation, the economy, the currency, the banks, the stock exchange. So it's kind of showing us that the leaders will be wealthy again from receiving wealth from the country. Saturn will be in the 8th house, which is the Lord of the 7th. A transformation will be occurring when it comes to the 7th house. The 7th house is foreign relations with other countries. This could be for better or for worse. It's also the marriage and divorce rate. It shows other parties that the country will be dealing with. And there's a lot of talks about NATO and things of that nature. This is exactly what it means. So transformations about alliances occurring. Some will die off. Some will have to completely transform. So this house represents the time after you get married, the problems that could occur, the things that come up, the compromises that must be made. So this could be either in your life, your relationships are transforming, what needs to be talked about that maybe wasn't brought up, what was hidden, what needs to be brought up at this time. This could also do with your business. 8th house also rules the death rate, how much debt a country has, the corporation, loans, interest, taxes. The 8th house can also show people being suppressed, feeling oppressed, and some kind of power struggle that could be in your relationships, and for the world that could be alliances, power struggles within that. Also indicating a lot of people getting divorced. Now, the 10th house shows a person. It shows the leader of the country, the person or people in power, the leader of the country, the president, the prime minister, the monarchy, the king, the queen, the government in general sometimes. Also famous people who may be in positions of power. Now we have Jupiter and Rahu in the 10th house. Jupiter is aspecting the 2nd house of money, but also the 7th house of debt and the 4th house of home. The 6th house is also the house of unemployment. So we could see unemployment go up. We could see enemies accumulating, and that could have to do with alliances in different countries. That could also indicate some greed in some areas here, like for the banks, for example, being greedy and raising interest rates on people that make them not able to afford their homes. It's expanding the 2nd house of money and possessions, but that money seems to be going to the leaders. Some will go to the population, but a lot is going to the leaders. Saturn is aspecting the 10th house. Transforming the 10th house matters. So the leaders are transforming, things are happening there. But it could also be the death of some leaders. So we have Mars, which will be in the 2nd house, and we have Saturn in the 8th, which are aspecting each other. This could cause conflicts with finance, relationships changing. That could be within families in matters of home, business. This could indicate also some violence, some people being aggravated in families, fighting over possessions and things of that nature. So just make sure that you treat everyone with the utmost respect and be wary of accidents around this time, just because of that Mars-Saturn aspect. Mercury is the lord of the 12th house and the 3rd house, and it will be in the 1st house in Ashleisha. Mercury and the moon do not have a good relationship in Ashleisha. is a very difficult nakshatra. Although it's ruled by Mercury, it is a very difficult one, showing that anything to do with Mercury type themes, so communication, this is also the writers strike, which is currently happening in California and Hollywood. This is indicating that there could be a loss of money, because this is a second from the 12th, a loss of money because of these types of things. This could also be marketing. This could be trade, crypto, things of that nature. It's aspecting the 7th house. It could show that people are trying to do business dealings, but the business dealings may not be on the up and up. There may be something hiding there that will be brought to light eventually, because Ashleisha can be very sneaky. It can be very underhanded if it's not at the highest level of awakenedness. And just for the world, this can indicate that something underhanded is happening in communication. This could be being lied to. This could be having to do with loss and endings. So all communication jobs should just be on the lookout for that. So the professions that this deals with is anybody in trades, salespeople of all kinds, writers doing any type of writing, astrology, esoteric subjects, anything involving travel and tourism. This could be maybe going down or maybe a little bit difficult at this time. This is hotel, restaurant industry, house construction, anything to do with homes, all science-related professions, civil engineers, teachers in schools, colleges, universities, priests, monks, gurus, anything with self-enhancing techniques, all communication jobs, like I said, radio, television industry, telephone industry, couriers, postal service, landlords, Airbnb, home delivery, Uber, home maintenance service, aviators, astronauts, space, satellite profession. Now, this pada has to do with the maternal side and nurturing. So it's beautiful that we do have the moon here, because this will amplify a lot of things that have to do with caring and nurturing, and a lot of people will finally feel nurtured as well. So there's always two sides of this. So the really positive is people can feel a lot of love, a lot of nurture at this time, like the love of the mother and things of that nature. So there are positives and they're always seemingly a little bit negative, but there's always two sides of it. That's just a little bit of what I see. I thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.